to Adam Silver's ludicrous idea that tanking is an issue, because it's not. In what world, in what sport, should the team with the worst record in the association have worse odds than the fourth worst record in the league to get the number one overall pick in the draft? Listen, I know, Josh, you don't understand the tanking logic or the new rule at all, so I'm going to
We've
try
been
to.
through it a few times already here.
I'm going to try and dissect it for you, which is basically, if you have the three worst records in the league, you have the same amount of odds. But if you have 4 through 10, have better odds of getting the number one overall pick in the draft than 1 through 3. You also cannot get back-to-back number one picks, and you cannot have back-to-back-to-back 3 straight years top 5 picks, which also means this year the Memphis Grizzlies get screwed because they made a trade with the Utah Jazz for Jared Jackson, where it's unprotected, and now the best it can land is 6. And here's the deal, okay? The NFL.
The trade shit is even worse. That's what makes it even worse for my perspective.
You know what we loved yesterday about the fact that Myles Garrett and A.J. Brown got traded? Is that it was easy to follow. It was easy compensation. There was no, once the report came out of what the picks were, there was no guessing. It was, and it's stars get traded, and we want to talk about that as fans. With this NBA now, you got exceptions and Larry Bird rules, and
Larry Bird rule's been around for a good while. That one is like that's
trade rights, and it's too hard for fans to follow, and guys don't get traded anymore, and free agency is not a big thing anymore.
Well, I'd say guys get traded too often that it's so hard to follow. I mean, Steven Adams, I'm
talking about outside of Kevin Durant, obviously.
James Harden, he's been traded so many times too.
I mean, but they're old guys, right? They don't feel like stars.
But there's also who is the one young guy who's been traded a few times already now?
Maybe Giannis is the exception of the rule this offseason. I don't know. But my point is, how in the hell are the Wizards, the Nets, the Kings, these bad franchises, supposed to get better when they have no avenue now to get better?
It almost feels akin to, I know this is a little bit of baseball here, but let me make this clear. When Major League Baseball's owners made a counteroffer to the union just the other day with a hard salary floor, which I liked, but with a hard cap. The hard cap is basically what the NBA is trying to do with draft picks, except, in terms of it'll still punish small market teams in that you will eventually have to trade away if you're Tampa, if you're Cleveland, if you're Milwaukee, if you're Kansas City. If you draft well, develop well, you can't re-sign all your guys, and some of those big stars are still going to find their way to New York, LA, etc., with a hard cap in Major League Baseball. And that's what it feels like they're going with the NBA as the best analogy I can make. It's like with this reform, it's like you're giving the smaller markets no avenue forward to actually better themselves. And that's what sucks. It's like, get rid of this freaking proposal, get rid of the freaking 65 game rule, or at least broaden it where injuries happen, so you shouldn't be penalized if especially if a Kelly Olynyk thing ever happened again. It's like, come on, this
Kelly Olynyk is with the Spurs, by the way.
That's right.
I would flip the bird, but I know we're live, so no. But no, it's just we're over managing it at this point. It's like simple. Okay?
I have no opinion on this.
Really? You have no opinion?
No.
Whoa.
See, I think this is horrible. I get Adam Silver.
0 out of 10.
Fitz, me and you, we did a podcast on this on Memorial Day. I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
We talked about this is not the issue with the NBA.
Exactly.
But again, he's covering up for it because he doesn't want to go on when Pat McAfee did the spectacular last week and he had on all the commissioners. Of course, he's not going to come out and say flopping is an issue and all that because he doesn't want it to be attention for during the finals. And so this is their way of band-aiding something.
Yeah.
I don't know how the owners are all on board with this, if that is what I heard right and is correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
There was one team that was not on board, and it was for obvious reasons. It's Memphis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still don't get it. Why would Dan Gilbert even agree to this?
Well, I think it's because the league thinks that teams were tanking, which was sure they were tanking this year because it's a great draft. That's why they were tanking.
Yeah, and plus sometimes when you get screwed over by, a guy you develop, you think you're going to win a title, and then bye-bye.
Oh, and by the
when
way,
that happens, it's like you're back to the bottom of the barrel often.
By the way, the NFL is the one sport that doesn't have a lottery, and I know, Josh, you talked about the Browns have been irrelevant in 20 years. They still made the playoffs twice. You can rebuild quickly in the NFL. You can't rebuild quickly in basketball.
Baseball, sometimes that can take a while unless you hit on a bunch of various factors.
Correct, but generally, once you're good for a long time, and it's understood.
Hello, White Sox. Go from one of the best teams in the AL to the most losses in ever.